The Transport Minister Sindisiwe Chikunga will officiate the Transport Summit in Boksburg today, alongside the Minister in the Presidency Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma. President Cyril Ramaphosa will deliver the keynote address at the summit, being held under the theme Accessible Transport for All. Newzroom Afrika Zola Sholwana now joins us live from Boksburg for more details. Zola, good morning. Thank you so much for making time for us. Just coming out of a heated conversation there about the violence playing out in Soweto amongst the transport, amongst the taxi associations, but critical to the conversation and this summit that is taking place is ensuring that there is transport for all.
Well, certainly, Aldrin, we do understand that the Minister of Transport will touch on, such a critical conversation. As you would understand that, the national transport policy states that transport should be accessible and safe and user-friendly to everyone, especially those that are living with disability. Now, the question will be, when you go to a taxi rank, do they have facilities that have a person that is, physically challenged or someone that lives with a disability in mind? When you go to the aviation sector, rail sector, all kinds of modes of transport. So we will be then finding out what has been done, by South Africa in terms of the transport sector to include those that are living with, disabilities. And I'm joined, by Amar. Ma'am, thank you very much for your time. Obviously, today's conversations are about making sure that transport is accessible to everyone and it is also user-friendly, especially their facilities, to people that are living with disabilities. Would you say that South Africa, is doing better when it comes to that, or more needs to be done?
I'd like to say that more needs to be done, particularly for people who don't have resources. And if you consider the majority of our population travels with taxis, they travel with trains, and trying to get people, joining in, participating in the economy and trying to get out of the situation of poverty. We need to make sure that this is addressed, because otherwise we're going to have a perpetual future where persons who really need to be able to participate and move about are continually marginalized.
What are you expecting to hear from today's conversation?
I'm expecting to hear the implementation of the laws which we have adopted in this country, like, for example, PEPUDA, the Promotion of Equality and Prevention of Unfair Discrimination Act, our framework on universal access and design for access in our country, and as well as the Just Economic Transformation Plan. And my big concern is, how are we as a country going to pay for all of this? So I'd like to hear some concrete feedback from government to say this is how they're going to pay for it.
Thank you very much for your time, ma'am. Now, obviously, the biggest question for today is that how is the transport sector, hoping to improve accessibility of transport for those that are, challenged in different ways. And obviously, we will get to hear from different sectors like like I mentioned earlier on, Aldrin. But the biggest, question for a lot of people is that, is safety also part of that? I guess we'll also be hearing from the taxi industry, as we are told that there will be different sectors: aviation, rail, maritime, together with road transport, presenting, their implementation plans to make sure that they allow accessibility, especially for people that live with disability. Because if you improve their accessibility to transport facilities, then you obviously allow them to make their way to their places of employment and also have access, to social activities like everyone else. Back to you in studio.
Thank you so much, Zola Sholwana, there joining us from Boksburg.